To the people on camera?
Yeah, Peter Ward, getting on a bit. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to this interview, and hopefully I can people are watching and enjoy it.
Okay, Peter, thanks for taking time out for me. Okay, don't worry about housekeeping. I think we're the only two people in the building. But if there's a fire, we go that way.
Okay, no
Just
problem.
follow me.
Yeah.
So, question number one: how and when did you first get into football, and what level did you play, and who did you play for?
Right, it's a funny one really, because up to when I was 15, I had a heart problem. I had rheumatic fever and I had peritonitis at the same time when I was a kid, and obviously the doctors sort of said keep away from physical exercises, so I was quite big, I was quite plump at the time, and when I got to 15 and got the all clear, I used
Bigger than me?
Yeah, no, not quite.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, but I used to, I used to have to go to the doctors every 3 months, and it was a situation where, obviously, because I wasn't involved in any sport, I used to have to watch them playing PE and running around, and obviously I was a bit tubby. And of course, when I got the all clear at 15, it was like I'm into everything. I'm into basketball, I'm into the school cricket team, into the school football team. I played table tennis, I played tennis, and it was just. And I was reasonably good at it, I suppose, but it's because I missed all them years where I hadn't been involved. So obviously it was a change for me, and I got into the school cricket team. I was wicket keeper. They were short of a wicket keeper, to be fair, and I was daft enough to go behind the stumps and face that ball coming at me. Mm-hmm. So I played wickets, and then obviously I played football for the school team, and then it moved on from there.
Which school was that then?
William Southern.
Where?
The Catholic school up at where is it? Chell, up at Chell there.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Blessed Thomas Maxwell in Newcastle, but you're not in Newcastle.
No, has it changed its name now, William Southern?
I don't know Chell that
Yeah, it's changed
maybe
its
one of the
name.
viewers can comment in the comment box and let us know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, maybe so. Yeah. The thing is that I moved on from there, and obviously I was playing youth team football, because at that time a lot of youth clubs about. There was. Well, everywhere there was youth clubs. Chell Youth Club had a youth club. Harrishead, where I lived, they had a youth club. Patmore had a youth club. So obviously I was like, let's get into one of these youth club teams. And I was playing at Patmore under 18s. I think I was only 16.
What position?
I played fullback.
Yeah. Right or left?
I played either. To be fair. Me obviously I'm right footed, so right back was my preference, but if they asked me to play left back, I'd play left back. In this day and age you play anywhere, don't you? But yeah, then I sort of got in the team at the youth club, got the captain of the youth club.
Wow.
And and Patmore Youth Club was like, they had an under 18s and an under 21s, and there was a guy there who played in the under 21s named Alan Kelly. And he was my hero really. You'd laugh at this, but I used to model him dancing, bopping. When he was bopping, I used to bop the same as him.
How old are you now? When were you born that year?
When was I born?
Yeah.
When I was born 1948. So I was
right.
What would it be then? I'd be 16.
Well, you're 8 years older than me, so
Yeah.
it's about 73.
I'm 74 this birthday,
Yeah.
May. So so Alan Kelly was my hero, and I always noticed that when he was playing, he never gave the ball away. Played midfield, never got caught with the ball, passed the ball well, and I just sort of built myself on that. And I did actually follow him when he was dancing. When we had these nights out, the club nights out.
Rock and roll.
I used to bop just like him,
So basically, he was your mentor.
He was when I was a kid. He was a good midfield player. Ended up playing mid-Cheshire football, and obviously played for Milton United. I think he was captain for Milton, and a good player, Alan. Yeah, but then I moved on from. What happened was, if Patmore didn't have a game, Harrishead had a senior team, and they were playing in the Burslem and Tunstall League. You see, and I knew the manager, and if we didn't have a game, I'd get hold of him and say, listen, if our game's off, can I come and play for you? So we'd go see if our game was on, and then we get on the bus and go up to Harrishead and play for Harrishead.
So would you dual register with two clubs like?
You
like
didn't,
the
you didn't
ones
have
there?
registrations
Did you?
then. Well, as far as I know, you didn't, or I played under somebody else's name. No, that was the way it was. You know, you could play for the team, and I can always remember just sort of saying to Rubin, the manager there, listen, if we haven't got a game, can I come and play for you? Well, that was man's football.
Yeah.
I was only 16, 17, and I obviously hadn't played, you know, from when I was a kid. So it was like, I'm up a step, because you probably will remember, but in them days, there used to be the county league. You know, there used to be.
Staffs County League, yeah.
Well, you used to have the Staffs County League, which was a good league, real good league, competitive league, and then you'd have the Mid Cheshire League, then you'd have the Cheshire League, and then you'd have the conference. That was it. That was the climb up the ladder. So obviously my aim was to play as high as I could, you know. And
What level did you reach then? What was the highest level you got?
I played at Mid Cheshire level. I played, which was
For
probably
who?
for I played for English Electric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like English Electric and Kidsgrove were the two only teams
Right.
around here that played in the Mid Cheshire.
Got you.
Eventually, Milton United came into the Mid Cheshire because they were a good side. And they played it, so that was like virtually the middle tier.
What about me kids Grove Athletic who they are now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that was like the equivalent to that to our fourth step. Yeah, and it was. Because all the good players played in it then, because you didn't have Super League. How
Yeah.
many leagues have we got now? You know, every club's got every.
Well, it's all regionalised now.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and
You know.
there's three leagues in every year. Well, them days, it was like, I'm not just saying it, but if you did play in the Mid Cheshire or the Cheshire League, which I never got in, you weren't a bad player.
You're a good player.
Yeah, you were decent. Let's put it like that. And round Stoke-on-Trent, there was a lot of good players. You know, there was a lad named Cliffy Slater who comes from Stanfields. He ended up getting money at Whitchurch.
Really?
You know, and that's, if you remember, that's years and years ago. And he'd be going there, and he was a good player. And Mid Cheshire was the league around here. And then obviously the Cheshire League, if you were that little bit better, you know.
So during your time as a player, did you sort of win any major honours?
Yeah, as a player, you laugh at this, but when you say major honours, you're looking at different things, aren't you? Because in
Like
them
a
days,
cup or something?
in them days, yeah, you'd have the Bisman Tunstall League Cup, which we won. You'd have the Maybank Cup, which I won. The League Cup, which I won.
Have you still got the medals then?
Well, I'm going to tell you the story about that. Bob Askey phoned me up about, must be 20 years ago now,
Yeah.
and he was running the lads and dads side, and he was saying, Pete, have you got any old medals that you can, you know, that we can give, where we can take the things off and we can present them to the kids? And I think I gave him about 40.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was
Do you
funny.
regret that?
I thought it was for a good cause, to be fair.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
but it did take a few memories away. But obviously, when we being young and that, you know, these kids these days who are playing, they don't even remember them days. But like for me, it was a competitive standard of football, and if you won something, it was prize. But when he said it was for the lads and dads, I just thought, well, you're passing it on to somebody else, and they're getting some benefit out of it.
Oh,
So that was how it was. But when I actually went into the box and saw how many there was, I was quite surprised myself. I got 3 Congleton Chronicle Cup medals, as we'd won 3 years on the top with English Electric, you know, and played good teams in the final, you know. And it was a good competition then, Congleton Chronicle Cup. So, you know, you do forget. But yeah, I won quite a few things when I was a kid playing football. But, you know, I suppose that was part and parcel of growing up, wasn't it? You know, and your progression through the ranks, like. And but I can always remember the first time I heard my dad swear. you know, obviously them days it was strange to hear.
Did someone take you out like?
F and blind. Well, what happened was we played a final down at Narbersley Vicks, and I think we played Biddulph Moor. I'm not sure. No, it was Wrist Wires and Cables, and we played them in the final, and we won 1-0 or 2-1. And we had like a big van that carried us home, you know, took us up to the Nag's Head where we had our base. So of course I'm in at the front and right at the end, and my dad gets in, and everybody in, and my dad turned around and said, "Peter's not effing here." And I couldn't believe what my dad had said. Never mind that, you know, that was the first time I ever heard him swear. But you know, yeah, he used to come and watch me with my dad, obviously.
So, at that period of time, what football team did you follow? Professional football, Stoke or Vale?
Well, it was funny because Stoke and Vale, we used to go, I don't, well, you perhaps will remember, but, you know, Vale and Stoke used to play one another at the beginning of the season, always had a game against one another.
Yeah.
And I went with my mate, Dave Keegan, who used to play, by the way, he played for Summerbank Youth Club. Dave was, he was saying, well, okay, what we're doing? I said, well, whoever wins tonight, I'm supporting. And Stoke won. So I ended up sort of being a Stoke supporter, really, if you like, you know. But obviously we've been involved with football. My dad used to take me Stoke. I was down there when they got promotion and Stanley Matthews played. I was on the pitch that day with my dad. You know, I remember that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I suppose I was...
Was that 1963 or something like that?
Would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be years. Talk about ages now and dates. I'm way behind, mate,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that was how it was. And, you know, from there on, when I went, obviously I'd been Pat Moore, I got spotted by Keith Snape, funny enough, who was playing for English Electric, and eventually he became, well, it was my ex-wife's uncle, you know, and he sort of spotted me and sort of took me down English Electric, and like it was the end of the week, because you had to play for English Electric, your kids go down in our area, and you were playing for one of the top teams. And each year, a bit like Newcastle and Leek and Hanley, all the players used to go from English Electric to Glasgow.
It's like one big magic round, but
similar, yeah.
So, when you were playing football that time, I know you spoke about the gentleman like who the midfield playing, you were dancing around with, but professionally, who did you admire the most then, excluding Stan Matthews, let's say?
George Best.
Greatest footballer I've ever seen.
I admired George Best, Dennis Law, you know, the Manchester United team, and you know, and there was a lot of players around it then, wasn't there? Jimmy Greaves, I like Jimmy Greaves, Bobby Moore. You know, I used to, obviously, with perhaps being a defender, I used to look at him, and he's another one, never give the ball away, won his tackles, you know, and he was a class act, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and
I'm just going to throw one at you now. I don't want to talk to you. I want to throw you one in. 1966. Where were you? Where did you watch it?
Now you're going to laugh at this. I was playing football.
No.
Sorry, cricket.
Yeah.
Up at, what's it called? Up near there. We were playing football.
Up there, Drew?
No, I was playing, who were we playing against? Fucking hell, I've got names. It's just, anyway, what actually happened was that it was raining, if you remember. It threw it down, and they abandoned the game, and I watched it in, what they called? Just as you're going out of Mere, and you're going towards...
Normancott. Or the other way?
The other way, coming
towards
Leek. Towards Leek.
Oh, Western Coiney?
Yeah, Western Coiney. We were playing down there, and he was like, and yeah, we were praying that the rain would stop on, you know, because we wanted to watch the final. But that's how it was then. You played cricket. Although we were footballers, you had an allegiance, because then you played football till the season ended, and then you played cricket till their season ended, and then you'd go and play football.
Well, surely your mind must have been wondering, well, you know, how are England doing? Like, you know, you got that back.
Well, I ended up watching it, didn't I? So it was because the game was called off.
Oh, it was called off.
The rain, which was over the moon, because we were in there. Caverswall.
You're right.
It was Caverswall Cricket Club.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at Caverswall. We were all in there. All the lads were watching the cup final. Obviously the World Cup final. And it was just amazing, wasn't it? You know, to see England. And
I was 9.
Yeah, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a little bit older.
My greatest memory was me dad.
Excuse me a minute.
Yeah. We'll pause.
Let me switch that off. Go on.
My memory was with when my late dad watching the World Cup with him.
Yeah.
On the settee.
Yeah.
And like my idea of football then, that's when I really got into it, but my idea of football then completely changed, as I thought that England were the greatest football team on the planet.
Of course you would, yeah.
You know, and we'll go marching on. Still waiting on.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, on the day, it was magnificent for the country, for everybody involved. There was so much, and like, you know, the parties they had and everything that they had, you know, and you're just thinking to yourself, you know, yeah, it's a one-off, and I don't know whether I'll still see us win it again.
Dead well, to be honest with you. I think I'll tell you what, we've got a good chance this year. I think we'll get probably to the semis.
Yeah.
But the weather's going to play a part in it, you know.
Well, obviously over there it's very, very warm, isn't it?
Why over there? It's got to be a brown envelope, hasn't it?
It'd be money, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's for money.
Okay then, can I move on to question 2 then? When you finished football, when did you first get into management, and how did you get into management?
Right, what happened was, I'd spoken to a guy, a Geordie at Fison's Football Club at Holmes Chapel.
Oh, yeah, mate, you worked at Parsons.
Remember, yeah. Well, the pitch was absolutely magnificent because I think they actually developed the Cumberland turf that they played at Wembley.
Oh,
So
right.
their pitch was like a
Bowling
bowling
green.
green. And he asked me go, and obviously I knew one or two players because I'd been playing Saturday and Sunday football, and I'd been playing for the Hazelhurst, and I'd been playing, so I knew a few players, and he was a Geordie lad, and Bob name, but passed away now sadly, and he said, come down here, you know, and get us a side down here, and I must have taken about 6 or 7 lads from Stoke-on-Trent down to Fison's, and funnily enough, we actually won the league.
How old are you now?
What would it be then? I'd finished football, so I was about 29, 30, because I'd had a cruciate, I had a cruciate operation, and you know, and 1 or 2 injuries I'd had, and anyway, we went there, and I took a few lads with us, and we actually won the league, and Torque Pits were in the league.
Yeah.
I think it was Cheshire League or Cheshire Border Counties League or something, and Torque Pits were the side that we had to beat, and we'd beaten Torque Pits, and then the team that was at the bottom of the league, who Torque Pits had lost to, didn't carry on, 4 games away from home, and they did up because they'd beaten Torque Pits. They took them points away from it and Torque Pits won the league. Oh, and I was gutted. I mean, you can imagine going to presentation night, they were picking up the trophy, and like, it was as though they didn't really want to pick it up because they know they hadn't done it fairly.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
embarrassed.
But at the end of the day, that was a learning curve, you know, and then obviously I moved from there, and I think I went to, where did I go? Oh, I went to Kidsgrove Athletic, run their reserve team. And Willie Maley, who was I don't really know, he was the Everton goalkeeper. Well, he was the Everton goalkeeper. He'd taken over the first team job at Kidsgrove, and he'd asked me to run the reserves.
Were you at Kidsgrove in 1988, 89?
Yeah, I was Kidsgrove.
You were?
Yeah, I was at Kidsgrove, yeah.
So what were you doing at 88, 89 there then? You weren't the manager, were you?
I was second team manager, wasn't I?
Well, you know the players' presentation that end of that season?
Yeah.
Me and my
Vaguely.
mate did the disco there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can remember the occasion, but it was like...
We were called Jingo's Disco.
Yeah.
My mate Paul's no longer with us. You know, he sadly left us, like, let's say. But I remember going to Kidsgrove Athletic, and it was only a bit right as there now, a little wall. And we sat outside where he had the buffy sort of thing, you know.
Right.
Had a quick drink and then we went back in. But that was probably the first non-league ground I went to then.
Yeah,
In
well...
1988.
I want to call it. We were actually top of the league with a team called Intex at that time, and we'd got go Intex and play them the last game of the season. We needed to win, and Willie Maley, who was the manager, he called me on the Friday night and took 5 players off me before the game to play in the first team. But I looked at it positively. I just thought, well, it's good if these kids are getting in the first team, you know. And I ended up, I was still playing a little bit there on Sundays, and I went to Willie Maley and I said, look, you know, no problem, get him. And me and Alan Vickers, who were running the team then, had to play on the Saturday. And you laugh at it these times. Staff FA mustn't find out about it, but we used to have a guy. we used to have a guy signed up who wasn't actually with the club.
See? A ghost player.
Yeah, a ghost player.
Oh, right.
So of course, Alan, there was a bit of a dispute over a penalty. Alan went bananas with the referee. You know, you can't do effing this, you can't do
Alan
that.
Vickers?
Yeah, Alan Vickers, he was going by.
Really?
Yeah, so anyway, the referee come to him. See? The referee, oh, that was it. He come to me and he said to me, because I was having a go, he said, come here, and he took my name, see? So I give him the false name, see? Oh, but he sends me off, right? Now, as I'm walking off, Alan's having a right go. The referee turns around to Alan and said, what's your name? And he says, Peter Ward. And I'm walking off, turning around, thinking, whatever. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened, like, you know, and well, the thing is, I had to pay the fine, and, you know, but what I'm saying is, at that particular time, that's what we did. And me and Alan played that day, and we drew 1 each, and we lost the league by a point. But I'd done well because we were runners up in the league, so, and then, what did I do then? Where did I go? I think I went to Newcastle Town. And we obviously had a good side there. I took a load of players with Newcastle. I took Ronnie Jepson, Les Wayne, little Trevor Russell, who ended up at Leek. He played at Leek eventually. Jack Carter. We had a good side, and we won the league. We won the Manchester League.
Ronnie Jepson was centre forward.
Yeah, Ronnie played for Huddersfield. Played,
Yeah.
Big mates with Neil Warnock.
That's
now,
right.
his
Yeah.
assistant.
He's on YouTube with Warnock on some YouTube program or something.
But Ronnie obviously moving on further on, like, you know, Ronnie played for me, and first time I ever come across him was I was playing half holiday league football with a team called Embreys, because obviously I was
Embreys Bakery.
Yeah, I was in insurance, and we used to play against Staffs Police, Anley Police, Staffordshire Fire Brigade, half holiday league, yeah, and we played up at Wolverhampton, funny enough, where I live now, you know.
The Marsh.
On the Marsh, yeah. And first time I come across Ronnie, his brother Paul played at right back, and he said, "How Ronnie's playing today, like," and they brought him, and he's only 17, built like a brick house, whatever.
Yeah, big lad.
And ginger hair, you know, and yeah, and in the end, I mean, he was unbelievable. He's an incredible player. And I just thought to myself, what a player, you know, and Paul said, like, you know, there's one or two clubs looking at him and this, that and the other. And of course, I took him Newcastle with me.
So how old was Ronnie Jepson then?
How old was he?
17.
17, he was a kid. He was a kid, but he was built like a man. Oh, yeah, and funnily enough, we played Staffs Police and he kicked out of him.
Really?
You know, yeah, and he was big, strong, centre forward. Technically good for a
He
bit.
looked like he could handle himself.
Yeah, well, Ronnie used to growl at you, know,
Yeah.
if he growled at you, you'd better watch out, like,
He'd
you know,
run off me.
or if his veins went in his neck, you
Yeah.
know, but yeah, and Ronnie played for me, obviously, for a few years, but he played at Newcastle, and we won the league, we won the Manchester League, we went Rylands, I think. Rylands now were in our league.
Really?
Yeah, we went Rylands and we beat Rylands, and we had the presentation there, so that was a successful season, like, you know. And then where did I go then? I went to Anley Town.
Got you.
We went to Anley Town, and had some good players up there, you know, Alan Lockett and the two brothers, the Hodgsons. Can you remember them? I don't know, Paul Hodgson and John. And
So basically, Peter, what you're saying is, you're moving up the career now, in your career-wise.
Yeah.
You're going higher up the ladder in football, aren't you?
I was, yeah. And I was going. Hanley Town were a really good club, you know, good people, good directors, good people around the club, and we had a good team, you know, and we ended up getting promotion. We didn't win the league. I think we won the League Cup. We beat Kidsgrove in the final down at Allsage, you know.
How did you feel about that? Because you won some
Well,
kids,
yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, but
What
like.
are you doing like, get in?
Well, Jack Carter, who's no longer with us, John
Yeah.
Carter, played at Leek, played at one, but a good player, class act, really good player. You know, he we'd won the game, and I can always remember we had a penalty, and Dave Merter, the Kidsgrove captain, was saying that it was never a penalty. Jack Carter, straight away, like a bit of a mouthy, Jack, good player. And Jack just walked up to him and said, "Have a look in the Sentinel Monday night, son." Anyway, next minute we're in the changing room, we've got the cup, we've won the cup, you know. Steve Goodwin played at Leek,
Did
centre
you play at
forward.
Stoke then?
Yeah,
okay.
Steve got top goal scorer around here, Ronnie Jepson, Jack Carter, Les Wayne, Trevor Russell. We had a real good team, you know, and they followed me, to be fair, they followed me. And then I'm looking for Jack. And Jack's in their changing room showing him the cup.
No
saying,
way.
"This is what it's about." We had to drag him out. They were ready
Yeah.
to kill him. Yeah, but you know, so obviously that was successful. We did quite well there. And then Anley, for some reason, I think it was the fact that they couldn't have a fence all the way around the pitch to go up. And I ended up going Nantwich.
Nantwich Town.
Yeah, Jack Lindop phoned me up, the chairman, and asked me if I'd go, and you know, because I wanted to go a step higher, you know, it was an opportunity for me. I would have stayed at Anley if Anley had been able to go
What
up.
year was this then when you went Nantwich?
Oh, you're talking years now. I don't
So
know.
within North West Counties?
Yeah,
Right, got you.
North West Counties.
Yeah.
I got Nantwich out of the North West Counties, right? And I I was with Nantwich for a couple of seasons. We did really, really well. I had Dave Coote playing for me on the wing. All the lads has been at Hanley come up with me, so we had virtually a full team. You know, I had Chrissy Owens played for me around here, Askey.